Welcome to Who's Raising Who, the podcast where motherhood, daughterhood, and real life collide. I'm Crystal Shay, the daughter, and you're about to get to know my mom, Miss Pat, and myself a little more. While you're here, keep in mind that we are rookies. We recorded this while sitting at an outdoor pizza joint with chatty people walking by and cars driving by. So buckle up and enjoy. All right, so here we go. This is the first opening. I don't even want to call it an episode. We're just calling it a pilot. You know what that is? A pilot?
A pilot is someone that flies a plane.
Not that kind of pilot, Mom. A pilot, like a pilot episode. But before we get started, I want to make sure that if this is your first time here and you don't know me or my mother, who is my co-host of this show, I want to make sure you all get to know us just a little bit. So I'm going to start by asking my mother, in the famous words of social media influencer Randy Rosario, who are you, darling? Who are you? Hey, Mama.
Hey, Crystal.
Talk to the people. Tell the people, who are you, darling? Who are you?
I am Patricia, Miss Pat, first name Miss, last name Pat.
Now, how do we get here with this first name Miss, last name Pat thing? You started doing this first name Miss, last name Pat thing when I was in like middle school with my friends.
Right, because I just made it really simple for them to remember my name. Right? Patricia Smalls is my name.
Right.
Those middle grade kids, they're not gonna be like, Patricia Smalls, that's your name? No, my name is Miss Pat. First name Miss, last name Pat.
And this was before the comedian came out, Miss Pat, that comedian. I don't know if you ever heard of her.
Yes, I like her. I like her. She's really funny.
She is, but you're the original Miss Pat.
I'm the original Miss Pat.
Okay.
First name Miss, last name Pat.
With this being an introductory episode, what would you want people to know about you?
I am a mother of 3, Crystal, Brittany, and Timothy. I am also a grandmother of 2, which is Nevea and Tamia. And I love my family. I love to cook. I love family gatherings. I love to go to church. I love to engage in church activities. I love my community. I'm very involved in my community. And I also love to serve. I love to serve. At my current church right now, I serve on hospitality, and that is a passion that I've had for a long, long time.
And you're good at it too. And I want to piggyback on that. Again, you are really good at helping people. You serve people with a cheerful spirit, and that's why people love you. Like you are a genuine person. Like I see how you are with people. I'm a little bit more tough when it comes to dealing with people. It wasn't until recently that people started using the term sweet to describe me. But learning and growing. But back to you. You are a very genuine person, and you serve people with a smile. And again, that's why people love you. I learned a lot from watching you serve. I have learned a lot watching you serve people over the years, and it's taught me how to serve people. That's not my ministry, but because I've seen you do it for so long, I know how to. When I do it, there is a joy that comes at the end of it. So I always get something out of it. And once I finish serving people or serving a ministry or serving somebody who need help at their event or whatever, like once I'm done doing it, I may be dog tired, emotionally exhausted, but there's a joy that comes from it. So I can see why you love doing it so much. I see how it bring you joy. Even when you be in pain, could barely walk, wobbling around like a little penguin. Those of you that don't know, my mom is real bow-legged, so I call her my little penguin. But I see sometimes like you be in pain and you still serve with a smile on your face. So everything that you said about yourself, I completely agree with and co-sign on.
Oh, and by the way, that penguin walk it has a name. It's called arthritis. I just want you all to know that.
Do you want to tell people how old you are?
Yes, yes. I don't have a problem telling anyone how old I am. I am 60 years old.
Okay.
Now, Crystal, who are you, darling?
Who am I, darling? I am Crystal Shay.
Darling.
Darling, I am your daughter, your first child. I am a 40-year-old, 41-year-old single adult who is out here in these Miami streets, navigating life, growing and learning, and still being raised by my mama. You, yes, I have no problem admitting that you are still raising me. Let me see what else about me. I believe that I'm a genuine person. I'm a very honest and real person. I'm transparent with people. I believe in just being real with people, because if I don't show you who I really am, or if I'm not real with you, how can I expect you to be there with me? And I always want people to be comfortable enough to be themselves with me. What else should I say about me? I'm a business owner. I love family. We're a very family oriented group of people. We get together, and that's usually the highlight of my weekend, when I can spend time with my family. I'm an aunt. I love my nieces and nephews, all the ones from Maryland down to Atlanta, the one here in Miami. I love being an auntie. I even love being an auntie to my honorary nieces and nephews, which are my friends' children.
How much you love me, Crystal?
I love my mama. I love her. I love her. I love her. And she be pushing my buttons, and I be real close to pushing her in the bush every now and then. But that's my dog. And she hate when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because this is a very real podcast, and this is how I talk to my friends when they ask me about my family. I tell them, I'm close to my mama, and that's my nigga. That'll be the last time I say that.
I hope so.
On this episode. She don't like it, but like I say, we keeping it real here, mama. We ain't being fake. We ain't performing. We gonna talk and keep it real, right?
Yeah.
So that's who I am, darling. That's who I am. Maybe on a later episode we'll talk more about, my personal endeavors, such as my businesses, the things I do in ministry, in my community, and the things that my mom is into as well. But for now, this is who I am. This is who I am, darling.
You did great, darling.
Thank you, darling.
I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said about being straightforward and honest. That alone is very, very true, because you have had to put me in my place in a very, very good way, in a very respectful way. And I learned from that, and I can appreciate that.
And with that being said, that's how I came up with the name for this show, Who's Raising Who, or this platform that we are taking this journey on. It's called Who's Raising Who. When I came to you about this idea and this concept for the show, what did you think?
I thought it was a great concept. It was a great idea. Who's raising who, and it just fits our relationship as mother and daughter. It's like the perfect title for that, because sometimes I really think that you think that you're raising me.
Yeah.
I knew
sometimes.
I knew you was gonna agree to that.
Yeah, sometimes. But you've said a lot of times, like when we've had conversations, you would say, I never thought about it that way, or that's an interesting perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't take that lightly, because first of all, if I'm sharing something with you or offering you a different perspective about something, I'm doing it in a way that you're able to receive it. And the fact that you're even open-minded enough to receive, for lack of a better term, wise counsel from the person that you raised, that says a lot about me as a person. And it also says a lot about you too, because I wouldn't be wise if I didn't have proper guidance growing up. My wisdom don't just come from thin air. It comes from everything that has nurtured me in my growing. So in adulthood, you are growing by learning from me. And the reason that I came up with this podcast name, Who's Raising Who, is because sometimes it's easy to forget who's raising who. Yeah, I do feel like I'm raising you sometimes, but you are always still raising me. Like, you're always a parent to me. Sometimes you step into a friend role, sometimes you step into a personal assistant role. You're always available or making yourself available to help me. But at the end of the day, like, everything I come up with, whether it's a business endeavor, whether it's something that I want to do in my personal life, whether it's a new health journey I'm looking into, whatever it is, I always come and bring it to you. Like, not that I need your permission to, like, a go ahead, but I come to you for, like, counsel and to get your ideas and to get your wisdom. So even at my age of almost 42, like, I feel like you are still raising me in that sense. In a more day-to-day sense, you still feed me at least 8 days out of the week. You making sure that I got food in my fridge, whether it's buying me something to eat or coming to have lunch with me on your free time while I'm working from home, or you getting food from a food drive and sharing what you get with me. Like, you make sure that I'm always fed with physical food, and you make sure that I'm always fed with like your wisdom and your nurturing self, you know? So, like, you are still raising me, because I still look to you for counsel and for, like I said, for your wisdom and your advice.
Well, there's one thing I know for sure, and that is if you come to me with some type of idea, or mom, I think I'm gonna try this, or I wanna do this, and what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? I think about it, I pray about it, and I come back and I'm like, do it. Like, I'm not one of those parents that discourages my kids or discourages you about doing anything, because you never know if you're going to succeed if you never start. And but
And that's one thing I love about you, because a lot of parents, they'll discourage their child from doing something because they can't see the vision that their child has, and they'll stump their child's growth. And I can honestly say I've never experienced that with you. You've never, like, you've given me your honest opinion, like, but you give it to me in a sense like, well, what if such and such and such? Have you thought about what would happen if such and such and such? So it's kind of like you give me these things to think about, instead of saying, well, you could run into this and this and this. You probably shouldn't do it. You never discourage it. You've never discouraged me from trying something new or anything like that. And that's one thing I appreciate about you. Because like I said, there are a lot of parents who, because they can't see the vision, they'll they'll stunt their child's growth and throw negativity on it.
yeah, I was never that type of parent with any of my kids. I would always urge you to step out on faith and see what the end gonna be, because if you don't step out on faith and believe in yourself, then it may be an opportunity where doors will be open for you. And I do know, the Bible also say that, God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And
And I ain't scared of nothing. No, I'm just playing.
and there's going to be some rejection out there, but it's okay. That's a part of living and growing up, because there's rejection out there. Everybody's not going to accept what you want to do or your idea, or so you just got to believe in yourself and keep it moving forward.
All right. Well, moving on. I guess the next thing I want to ask you is, with this coming up with this podcast idea, my my vision for this podcast is, well, let me tell you the reason that I wanted to do this podcast. And we've talked about this lightly. The main reason I wanted to do this podcast is because I want to make sure I have an archive. As you know, a few years before grandma, your mom, passed away, I would always, I always take pictures, I take videos, because I know I was going into my 40s, and I'm like, I don't have kids, and my grandma's getting older, and if something was to ever, happen to her, if the day comes where we don't have her no more, I wanted to have a piece of her. So I would always record like audio from my phone. When we would be sitting at her kitchen table, I would just put my phone out and just, let her talk, and I would just record it. And she had no clue I was recording it, but I always wanted to make sure I captured the essence of who she was. Just in case God does bless me with children, I'm able to say, this is who your grandma was. Because I know that that's something I'll never be able to, describe. I'll never be able to fully describe who she is. Even to my nieces and nephews that's coming up that might not know her as well. So with that being said, I wanted to have an archive, one, of our conversations, because if a day comes where you're no longer here, I'll still have this. I'll be able to refer back to these conversations and, be able to listen and have your voice, not just for me, but again, for maybe future grandkids or my nieces and nephews. That was the main reason I wanted to do this. Another reason I wanted to do it is because people eat it up when I have you on. When I post you on social media, they eat it up. They love to see Miss Pat. Most of these people, they've known me from childhood, so they've known you all of the years that they've known me, and they know you. But because people grow, we live in different places. Social media connects us all. So posting you on social media, I swear I feel like I get the most engagement when I post you, and they just love to see us. And recently somebody told me, I ran into somebody who I hadn't seen in years, but because we're social media friends, he's like, I see the genuineness between the relationship between you and your mom. It's authentic. It's not forced. And y'all just have a good time with each other. And I was like, we really do. She be on my nerves, but that's my dog. So being able to share you in on a different platform was another reason I wanted to do this. And because I'm hoping that our conversations will spark other relationships that may need development, or other mother-daughter relationships that may lack the type of substance, transparency, genuineness, support like that we have for each other. I'm hoping that it will encourage other people, whether it's daughters or mothers, to say, you know what, I can do this with my daughter. There may be some rockiness, or there may have been some differences, but there is nothing the conversation can't solve. And me and you talk all the time about all kinds of stuff. And I'm hoping that this podcast, whether it's a limited series or we continue doing it in the long run, I'm hoping that it encourages mothers and daughters to either reignite, reestablish, reconcile, but just have a relationship with each other.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying before, Crystal, is that yes, I do have friends, and when I hear them say, "Oh, me and my daughter doesn't have like a good relationship," and I'm like, "Wow," because I had a really good relationship with my mother, so it just over for me to have a great relationship with you as well, Crystal, because communication is key, and trust is key as well. And I love our relationship. I do. I really love it. So I just pray to God that I'll be around for a long time.
Me too.
so that I can continue to grow and, like you say, so that you can continue to raise me, encourage me.
Why did you agree to do this podcast?
Because I wanted others to see that whatever may have happened in their past with their mother, that there's hope. There's hope. That's why I agreed to do it, because hoping that this will be a great example of rekindling someone, mother-daughter relationship.
You got any questions for me for this introductory episode?
Um, I don't have no questions for you, but I will say that I appreciate you, and I love you, and I thank you so much for taking the time with me, and that's the most important thing. I can appreciate you just getting me away from the house on the weekend. Like right now, we're at Steve's Pizza. Um, I was gonna make breakfast, but Crystal had
You was gonna
you,
make breakfast, but
but you had some things to do to prepare for next week. So I went out and I ran a couple of errands and everything. And by the time she called me,
by the time what?
I had done, ran a couple of errands and everything. But I was waiting right on your phone call, girl, because I was like, I'm gonna go and hang out with you. And so right now, she ran a couple of Crystal. You ran a couple of errands.
Pause. Let me just go ahead and insert this disclaimer. Listen, for my listeners, for our listeners who listen to this episode, I have had to stop and pause this episode about 6 times because my mama is talking. It's just me and her sitting at this table, and she is talking as if we have an audience. So now I have to address y'all, which is the listening audience, because she keeps referring to me as she, and I'm looking around like, Mom, who are you talking to? It's me and you having a conversation. So this is what you're hearing right now. She keeps referring to me as she, and I keep telling her, Mom, you talking to me. You talking to me. Now back to the regularly scheduled program. I'm not editing that part out. I'm leaving that in. Now finish talking to me, please. You was waiting right on my call.
Oh yes, I was waiting right on her. I was wait. I was waiting right on your call.
You look at me dead in my face and can't just talk to me.
I'm talking to you.
It's like you talking to somebody on the other. Somebody on my shoulder.
No, are you a she, or are you Crystal?
I am Crystal. When you talking to me, talk to me like you talk on the phone. That's what I'm gonna start doing from now on. We gonna have these episodes over the phone because I don't know who you talking to.
Do you want to be referred to as?
No, I don't want you to refer to me as
or Crystal.
Don't refer to me as anything. Talk to me, not about me. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up because Miss Pat you need a little bit more. See, I almost did it now. Like I'm talking to an audience. You need a little bit more practice. I tried to prep you. I say, Mom, we're gonna talk like we talk every day.
But I told you I just wanted to just say what I had wanted to say.
I want you to say what you gotta say, but I need you to say it to me and not to an audience who's not here. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we'll pick this up another time, Mama, because you right now you stressing me out, and I'm ready to take you home.
I'm not ready to go home, Crystal.
Oh, you going home? You going home? Anyway, any final words before we close this out?
I don't know. I think I'm in my feelings.
That's fine. Feelings are good. How you gonna respond to your feelings?
By going home with my dog.
That's a good idea. I'm taking you and your dog home. Good night.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Who's Raising Who.
If something we shared today resonated with you, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a friend. And remember to follow us on social media at WRW.pod. Join in on the conversation. We love to hear from you. Until next time, keep learning, keep loving, and keep listening.
I'm Miss Pat.
And I'm Crystal Shay.
See you next time.